Morning, kiddos. We're some more uh, tips and some more communications about some of the way we're building the VEX stuff. I saw some issues with, I went around looking at your robots and some of the issues I saw with your VEX builds. I'm going to try to every week cover some of the issues that I think we need to cover. One of them is your motor connection. We need to make sure we understand that. Uh, I believe this is the bare minimum that we need for connecting a motor to the frame part of it. We need to make sure that we use a collar or a keeper, however you want to put it. This is a collar. We need to use a collar, and between the collar and the metal insert to the motor, which every motor should always have, and to make sure the shaft goes completely in, we need to have a plastic washer, thin plastic washer between the two, between the collar and the metal frame, and between collar and the metal insert. We do not want metal to metal, so we need to always have some type of plastic bearing or plastic washer or something between the two. This is a pull-out version, so I can show you each part. This is the metal. These are the two screws that go in there. Remember, we don't want to over tighten this because we could pull this, pull these threads out inside here. So we just want to make it good and snug and tight, but not over tight. We need to make sure that the collar is up against this sleeve and the metal to keep it. For instance, we want the shaft to pull on this and not pull out of here. So the collar needs to be up against this area and not this way, because if you put it on this area, you gave it space for it to move that direction. But if you put the collar this way to here to up against here, then the 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 shaft can't move. It won't come out. The only way it can move is go this way, and that just pushes it more into the motor, so that's a good thing. But we just don't want the shaft to go that direction, so we don't want slack here, we want the slack over here. All right, matter of fact, over here that I'm fixing to show you is it put together, screws in and all. Notice how I have slack right there, but I don't have it right here. We want it on the metal, but we don't want it so tight that it prevents this from rotating. But we want the collar to be more this way than this way, because the more slack you here have on this side, the more this shaft can move out. We don't want it to come out of the motor. If it comes out of the motor, it has no control and it won't turn nothing. So we need to make sure that the slack is on this side and not this side. And I've seen some of y'all have the slack in the middle or over here, and not have any of these plastic washers or spacers in there to fill in this spot. All right. So hopefully that's understandable. We need to make sure that is taken care of. This is more about information about a durable and dependable bot. If we don't make sure we take care of the little stuff, then the bot won't take care of us during the competition. And the better we do these things, and the better we button up and build it, the better off we are, and the better the bot will last and not break down on you. All right. Hopefully this answered your questions. Also, one other thing on the collar, make sure this inset on the collar is on the flat surface, not on the edges or anything. Make sure it digs into the flat surface. So this needs to make sure it's lined up, and I don't think I have it lined up with that like I should, and I think I'll do that right here in front of you and show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to drop this down and find collar right there. First of all, I'm going to make the frame disappear for a second so you can see it. So it's on the edge, and I don't want the inset to be on the edge. I want it, so I'm going to rotate it to where, what, wrong one. Sorry, my bad. I'm trying to do this all. I grabbed the wrong one, and I was trying to do the one that rotates. I think it's just right here, yeah. So we want the inset to dig into the flat side, so we never want it on the edges. So make sure that collar is in the right position of the shaft, and it needs to dig in, because if it doesn't dig in, we don't want to overdo it, but we want it pretty tight, because we don't want it to move on us. This is what prevents things from moving in. What do we use? We have to use, for something to not move, you got to have 2 points. In this case, you got to have the collar and the frame. So the collar is stationary in the shaft, and this is up against the metal. So when you pull on it, it won't come through, and that's what keeps it in its place. All right. So hopefully that's understandable. All right. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good evening.